Mohan Yellishetty, Professor of Critical Minerals and Resources Management at Monash University. Welcome to the programme, Professor. Now, is President Trump likely to seek a Ukraine-style minerals deal with Venezuela that would secure long-term access for US firms?
Yeah, I think now world is kind of chasing a lot of these important ingredients for most of our modern technologies, whether it is the technology that we are connected through, whether it is mobile phones, whether it is laptop computers, whether all high-tech industries. So world is going to need a lot of them. And the green transition is another demand puller. So yes, we are going to need a lot of them, and President Trump is eyeing on Venezuela for not only oil but also for some of the hidden mineral reserves or endowment as we speak.
So what would be the biggest obstacles to US companies if they were to try to mine critical minerals in Venezuela?
Yeah, as everyone knows that Venezuela has huge oil reserves, which is a quick return on investments, which can give quick return on investments to most of the U.S. firms. But when it comes to mining and minerals, there are so many bottlenecks that needs to be addressed. For example, the time it takes, because generally, even in Australia, I live in and work in Australia. So there is a kind of assumption that generally to stand up a project, it takes nearly 8 to 12 years. So that timing is very crucial. And then permitting systems. So currently, because 2.5 decades, Venezuela was ruled, in a very, very fragmented way. So we need the permitting system and ESG, environmental adherence, and ESG compliance is another major issue that's going to come in the way. And also, you need a lot of infrastructure to get these minerals out of the ground, and then you need to process them, and you need to, so much of other processing, downstream processing that needs to happen. And other than, as you rightly said in your opening remarks, other than China, no other country is well placed to kind of vertically integrate all these important infrastructure that needs from mine to metal. So Venezuela is no exception to that.
Right, so does China's dominance in refining make this a dead end for the US?
Yeah, for at least until 2030, I see that it's hard to break free of a Chinese stranglehold on a lot of critical mineral supply chains. So, for example, as you rightly framed it, 90% of refining of rare earth elements currently happens in China. That means China can pull the strings as they wish. They can either flood the markets or they can completely cut off the supplies into the market. So until that time, but there has to be some beginning that has to happen. For example, in Australia, we are building first indigenous rare earth refinery in WA. So likewise, many countries are also looking at this problem, this crisis, and trying to be, reducing their own sovereign risk that is associated with a lot of these critical raw materials.
All right, we will leave it there for now. Professor Mohan Yellishetty from Monash University, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.